everyone. Welcome to eChurch. Today, our scripture comes from Isaiah chapter 40, beginning of verses 1 through 11. And it reads, "Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly of Jerusalem, and announce to her that her time of servitude is over. Her iniquity has been pardoned, and she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. A voice of one crying out, prepare the way of the Lord in the wilderness. Make a straight highway for our God in the desert." Every valley will be lifted up, and every mountain and hill will be level. The uneven ground will become smooth, and the rough places a plain, and the glory of the Lord will appear. Today, I want to talk about let God do the excavation. You read this scripture and you wonder, what is the prophet talking about? Well, let's look at the situation here. Israel has been captive in Babylon for years, and now the prophet is saying that they're going to be able to return back to their country, and predicts or prophesizes that there will be someone to bring them back to that restoration. We're in the midst of Advent season, and Advent is preparing for the coming of God. I think as we look at this and understand the structure and topography of the place from Babylon to Jerusalem, there's no hills, there are no mountains, there's no physical problems of mountains or valleys that will prevent the people from getting back to Jerusalem. But the problems are not the physical things. The problems are the things that we have inherent within us. And what the prophet is telling us is let God remove those things. The peaks and the mountaintops that keep us from moving back in relationship to God. That's what we prepare for. And get prepared to let God come back in our lives. But let God do the excavation. Let God bring the hills down that keep us from getting back in relationship to Him, and let God lift up the valleys that have prevented us or keep us from being afraid. I just recently had a conversation with someone, and they said they had talked to this lady, a young lady, that she said at one time she was a member of a large church, and her husband was part of the staff, but for whatever reasons, she was sort of disenchanted with everything that happened because they got separated and divorced, and she's been in a bad situation. But I think the people, maybe no matter what their circumstances, whether in a situation like that, or somebody hurt their feelings, or they just got wrong, or whatever, let God remove those things. We should be in that moment of expecting God to come in, but all of those things that, whether they are in our mind, psychological, emotional, spiritual, let God do that. In the background, we see someone preparing to put a building in, and somebody's coming in to do all the excavation, make everything level. If we just understand that that's God's job, and we're open, then the Advent season where we expect Christ can be wonderful for us. And as the scripture said, and the glory of God will be revealed. The presence of God in our lives will show up if we just open ourselves to expect Christ and let God do the excavation. God bless you. Glad you could join us on eChurch. Let somebody else know. Send this message to them. Maybe it'll be a comfort to them, be of strength. And we wish you a wonderful Advent season, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here again next week on eChurch.